Hi, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm the Cookin Bookie, inviting you in for some great food and fantasy football. Now, everybody knows before the big games, you got to have three things. You got to have your picks in for your football pools, your lineups have to be set on your fantasy team, and you got to have something good to eat. That's where I come in. Each week we go over easy to make football food, tell you who we think is going to win, and who to put in your DFS and fantasy lineups. So, let's get started. Fantasy football playoffs are here, and in the real world, the push for the playoffs has begun. So we've gone big today. Green Chile Chicken Enchiladas with a twist of simplicity. So let's take a look at our ingredients. We have 4 boiled chicken breasts, 1 chopped white onion, half a pound of shredded cheddar cheese, 3 cans of cream of chicken soup, 3 cans of cream of mushroom soup, 26 ounces of chopped green chili, extra hot, and 20 ounces of yellow corn tortilla chips. Alright, the fantasy football playoffs are here, and there's a few things you want to keep in mind when setting your lineups. Mainly, are they still playing for something? Now, you might have players that got you there, did good for you all year, but if their teams aren't playing for anything, their playing time could get affected. So, let's take a look at some of the games. Denver to Indianapolis, perfect example. Neither team's playing for anything. Demaryius Thomas and T.Y. Hilton might have got you all these points all year, but you never know if they're going to only play a quarter or even get benched altogether. So check the reports before the games. I'm going to take Denver to win this one, but be really careful and leery when you're playing anyone from this game. Now we've got the Bears at the Lions. Kind of the opposite. Bears aren't playing for anything, but they are going to want to play spoiler on their division rival Lions. So take Howard all day long. He's going to have a big game. Really don't trust Tate or Stafford in this one. Think they'll let you down. So if you have someone else you can play, I really would. Chargers at the Chiefs. This could be a big game. I've been picking on the Chiefs all year. Chargers are really coming in hot. You got Hill, Hunt, Smith, Keenan, Rivers. I think they're all going to have great games. But I do think that the Chiefs are going to upset. And it's crazy to say upset when you're at home, right? They're going to upset the big juggernaut Chargers coming in. Chargers typically let you down this time of the year, so take all those players in your playoffs, but take the Chiefs at home. Now we got Green Bay at Carolina. Now I think Cam Newton's going to send Rodgers on an early vacation, order up some playoffs with no cheese, and we can let the Hundley bidding war begin. Carolina's just coming in too hot. Green Bay just doesn't have it. They have to win out and get a lot of help, so I would take Carolina all day in this one at home. So let's get started on shredding our chicken. Now you just want to get it, pull it apart, shred it. While we're doing that, let's talk about the big game of the afternoon, and that's the New England Patriots going over to my Steelers. Now, I know the Patriots are the big bad leaders of the empire, but after last week's beatdown by the Miami Dolphins, I think they've been exposed a little bit. So I think Tom Brady and the boys have gone from being the leaders of the empire to more like the long-haired, millennial, spoiled punk that's leading the empire now. You know, my grandpa was Darth Vader. Mom, Dad, the galaxy's supposed to be mine. You know, I hate you guys. You know, I'm not afraid of them. I don't think the Steelers are afraid of them. I think the big bag killer bees come in and take care of business. Now, I'm not dumb. We all know it's going to come down to the last play of the game. But I think the Steelers really take care of business in the fourth quarter. Take the Steelers all day in this one. So, I got my onions cooking. You want to get them cooked nice and toasty. Something like this. Full disclosure, though, I almost forgot the garlic. So, I have 2 cloves of minced garlic here. We want to go ahead and get those into our onions. It is smelling divine. So, I guess this week's goes to me for almost forgetting the garlic. So, mea culpa, my bad. Gomenasai. Onions are cooked. Before we assemble our sauce, let's take a look at 4 more games. Philly at the Giants. Now, they just lost Wentz. It's a huge blow to their Super Bowl aspirations. They already got a playoff spot locked up, and they built a Cadillac. And unlike most teams, Philly actually put a spare tire in the trunk. They got Foles. Trust me, this guy can wing it around the field. He's going to do good. They'll get him out there. He'll start slow. Might look like the Giants have a chance, but they don't. They're going to go ahead and get back on track with Foles. Trust me. Cincy at Minnesota. Now, since he's going to take it, I would be really leery of putting A.J. Green in this if you have him on your squad. They might bench him altogether. They're going to save their superstar. They can't spoil anything for Minnesota. Play all your Minnesota stars. Get them in there. Minnesota at home, no problem. Miami at Buffalo. Now, Miami just took down the Patriots. They're going into Buffalo. They're feeling good. They're going to play spoiler and knock Buffalo right out of the playoff picture. Take Landry all day in this and take Miami on the road. Houston at Jacksonville. What can you say? Take everyone in Jacksonville. Take their defense. Houston really doesn't have anything to play for. They're looking forward to next year. So it's Jacksonville all day. Okay, it's time to make our sauce. We have our cooked onions with our garlic. Let's go ahead and add our cream of mushroom. We'll get that into the pot. We'll add our cream of chicken. Nope, seems like a lot. Go ahead and get our chicken in here. That is a lot of chicken. Let's give it a little bit of a stir. Now, before we put our chili in here, typically when you buy chili from a store, you want to reduce the moisture out of it. For this recipe, you don't. Just go ahead right out of the packaging. That moisture is going to help us out a little bit later on. Get it nice and mixed up. And we're going to get this cooking and simmering to get all the flavors married together. It's time to assemble our enchiladas. Now, I've already assembled the one without cheese. Now let's make the one with cheese. Who doesn't eat cheese? That's like not eating bacon, but whatever. So, I told you there was a twist of simplicity. Traditionally, we use corn tortillas, we fry them up, and we make layers with those. But for football food, we're going to use yellow corn tortilla chips. So, let's get started. We have a layer of yellow corn tortilla chips. We'll get our sauce on there. Get a nice good layer on there. You want to spread it around. You want to spread it around slow. You don't want your chips to go into a big pile in one corner. And we'll get a layer of cheese on here in just a sec. Our enchiladas are assembled. Let's get them in the oven. We'll see these guys in about 20 minutes. Our enchiladas are in the oven, and while they get cooking and the chips get soft, we got a lot of ground to cover in football, so let's get started. Let's get going with the Jets at the Saints. Now, the Jets are a scrappy team. They're going to come in fighting. They're going to want to play spoiler, but the Saints are just too good. I think this might be the game that Breeze actually blows up for like 500 yards. You can still take Ingram, Kamara, and the rest of the squad, but take Thomas and take Breeze. I think this is going to finally be their big game, and it's going to get you good in your playoffs. So get going with that. Take the Saints. We got Arizona at Washington now. Arizona's a scrappy team too. They like to come in and fight, and I think they still do have the fight. Washington's spirits are down. They really gave it their best. They did really good. I thought they'd be a lot further along than they are, but I think they might shut it down and shut down their stars. I'd be leery of using their players. I wouldn't of Arizona. Fitz is going to still get the ball all day long. Take Arizona on the road. We got Baltimore at Cleveland. Now, Baltimore's fighting to stay alive in the playoff hunt, and Cleveland, they're Cleveland. But, actually, Cleveland might. They have just. No, it's Cleveland. take Baltimore on the road. Not really excited about any of the players, so just take Baltimore in your picks. We got the Rams at Seattle. Now, it's in Seattle. The 12th man's going to show up. Russell Wilson's going to show up. Doug Baldwin's going to show up. But they're going against the Rams, and I think the Rams are primed to take over. So I'm going to go with all the Rams players, all the Seattle players. It's not going to be a defensive beatdown like last week. I think this one's going to actually be high scoring. It's just the old Bonza telling me. So take all your Seattle players, take all your Ram players, take the Rams on the road to win, though. We got Tennessee at San Francisco. Now, San Francisco's really fighting for that number 2 pick next year. So I think they're going to shut Garoppolo down. Don't expect to see him that much. Goodwin might be shut down a little bit as well. So Tennessee's still trying to fight for that number 1 spot in their division. I take Tennessee all the way on the road. Take Mariota. Take all the stars. And you're good to go in your playoffs. Now we got the Dallas Smith Cowboys going to Oakland. So Dallas is doing really good right now. Their defense looks like they're firing back up. They're going to fight, and try to squeak into the playoffs. They got Zeke coming back next week. You got Smith. You got Morris. You got Dak, Witten, Dez. Play them all. I think they're going to have a really big game against Oakland. I don't know what happened to Oakland. They just really don't have it anymore. So I would take Dallas on the road to win and use all their stars in your team. We got Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has the worst pass defense you can think of in the league. So I would take Atlanta all day. They're making this big old push. I think they might even defend their NFC championship. Matt Ryan is going to prime for a big game, kind of like Breeze. He hasn't had him all year, but I think this can be the one where he shows everybody he can still throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. So look for him and Julio to really go in on Monday night in prime time and take care of business. So our enchiladas are done. They look delicious. I had a great time. I hope you did too. If you did, like, share, subscribe. As always, enjoy the games. Good luck with your teams. And always, eat like a champion.